The calendar you live by, the one that runs your birthday, your holidays, your history, was all created by a pope named Gregory the 13th. Pope Gregory seems to be a background figure in the books, but the blueprint was his. And in church history, he is the hidden hand behind the way we experience reality today. He didn't just lead the Catholic Church, he reshaped time, history, and possibly human perception. Pope Gregory is the architect of the Gregorian calendar, the one we still live by today. But what's rarely discussed is how his reforms may have compressed time, restructured history, and erased ancient rhythms we once lived by. They tell us, before Gregory, Europe followed the Julian calendar, introduced by Julius Caesar in 45 BC. But the Julian year was 11 minutes and 14 seconds too long. That doesn't sound like much, but over centuries it caused a major drift. By the 1500s, the calendar was almost 10 days out of sync with the solar years, and that drift created a serious problem, not for astronomers, but it was a crisis for the church, of course. The timing of Easter was everything. According to tradition, Easter must fall after the spring equinox, symbolizing Christ's resurrection and the return of light. But the Julian drift meant Easter was slowly sliding earlier and earlier on the calendar, no longer lining up with the sun, the seasons, or the symbolic rebirth it was meant to represent. If the church couldn't even keep sacred time aligned with the heavens, it risked using spiritual authority and credibility. The calendar was more than a tool, it was part of the church's control over the rhythms of life, ritual, and cosmic order. So in 1582, Gregory the 13th introduced a correction. Thursday, October the 4th, was immediately followed by Friday, October the 15th. 10 days were deleted, wiped from existence. He also redefined how leap years work and set Easter's timing using new astronomical methods. What they don't tell us is that 10 days vanished, but so did records, alignments, and timelines. Different countries adopted the new calendar at different times, causing historical inconsistencies. Britain and its colonies didn't switch until 1752. By then, 11 days had to be removed. The switch fractured history into conflicting versions, opening the door for timeline confusion. Official records, legal documents, personal letters, and even journals from the window were thrown into the uncertainty. Weddings, contracts, deaths, and births that fell in those missing days, they were suddenly dated in a system that no longer officially existed. The Gregorian